Have you ever wondered why some people seem untouched by chaos, while you're constantly trying to keep your emotions from spilling over? In a world that's always shouting, reacting, and pulling your attention in 1,000 directions, staying calm can feel impossible. You're not alone if you've ever felt like you're drowning in noise, trying to keep your cool, only to be triggered again and again. But here's the truth. Your peace is not something you find by accident. It's something you build, one unbothered moment at a time. Right now, you might be tired of explaining yourself, defending your decisions, or reacting to every little thing that pokes at your insecurities. You may feel like life keeps testing your patience, and the people around you seem to know exactly where your buttons are. But what if I told you that you don't need to react anymore? What if the most powerful version of you is the one that refuses to be pulled into the storm? Not because you don't feel, but because you finally understand. Peace is a choice. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you're not faking strength. You're claiming control. You are saying, I decide how much power this moment gets. Because the truth is, the world will keep spinning. People will keep talking. But you don't have to give everything your energy. Your reaction is your permission. Every time you respond to nonsense, you hand someone a piece of your calm. And eventually, you wonder why you're always exhausted, always drained, always on edge. But imagine what your life could feel like if you stopped letting everything get to you. Imagine walking into a room and no longer needing to defend your presence. Imagine watching drama unfold and choosing silence over reaction, not because you're afraid, but because you're above it. That kind of emotional freedom doesn't make you weaker. It makes you untouchable. And once you master it, everything changes. You'll notice people start treating you differently. They won't test you the same way because they can't get a rise out of you. You'll see your focus sharpen. You'll get more done because you're not wasting energy on things that don't matter. Your mind will get quieter. You'll finally feel what it's like to move through life without being emotionally hijacked by every glance, comment, or criticism. Stay with me, because the deeper we go, the more you'll understand how to build this version of yourself, brick by brick, thought by thought, moment by moment. This isn't about pretending. It's about stepping into a new mindset where your peace is more important than your pride, where your future matters more than this moment's irritation. By the end of this, you won't just know how to act unbothered. You'll feel it in your bones. You'll become it. Because you're not here to react, you're here to rise. Every time you react without thinking, you give away your power. And you've done it so many times, it's become normal. That quick anger, that sharp comeback, that endless overthinking, it feels automatic. But automatic doesn't mean right. You've been taught to believe that speaking up in the moment means strength, that showing your emotions means you're real. But there's a deeper strength that most people never tap into. The strength to feel everything and still choose silence. The strength to be fully aware of the chaos and still keep your peace. That's not weakness. That's mastery. When you're always reacting, you're not leading your life. You're following your emotions. You're being pulled, pushed, and manipulated by outside forces. And that's why you often feel off balance. Because the world is controlling your mind, your mood, and your energy. But the moment you realize that your reaction is a choice, the moment you become aware of that split second between the trigger and the response, that's the moment you begin to take your life back. Most people never get there. They stay trapped in the belief that emotion equals authenticity. They confuse loudness with confidence. But real confidence is quiet. It's the calm presence that doesn't need to be the loudest in the room. It's the strength that doesn't need to prove itself. When you act as if nothing bothers you, what you're really doing is protecting your clarity. You're choosing to operate from wisdom, not impulse. You're choosing to respond, not react. And that choice changes everything. Think about how many situations in your life could have been avoided if you had just paused, just taken a breath, just refused to be dragged into someone else's chaos. That pause is your power. That moment where you decide this doesn't deserve my energy is where you become untouchable. Because now you're not just reacting out of emotion, you're thinking, you're choosing. And with that choice, you rise above. It's not about pretending you're okay. It's about building a mindset so strong that even when things shake you, they don't break you. You may feel the anger, the hurt, the disappointment, but you no longer hand those emotions a microphone. You no longer let the world dictate how you move, how you speak, how you feel. You take back control, and that control becomes your peace. You have a right to protect your energy. You have a right to walk away from drama. You have a right to stay calm even when others lose their minds. Because your peace is not a gift someone hands you. It's a decision you make over and over, until it becomes who you are. So the next time life tries to pull you into a reaction, remember who you're becoming. Someone calm, someone focused, someone powerful, someone who acts as if nothing bothers them, not because they don't feel, but because they finally understand what's worth feeling for. You don't have to react to everything that challenges you. Silence is not weakness. Detachment is not apathy. It's control. It's maturity. It's a powerful declaration that you no longer dance to the rhythm of other people's chaos. Because the more you train yourself to stay calm, the more clearly you see. And in that clarity, you make better choices. Not louder ones, not angrier ones, better ones, wiser ones. Ones that serve your future instead of sabotaging it. Every time you choose calm over conflict, you're investing in your peace. You're saying, I refuse to go backward. And that choice will cost you. Your ego, your need to be right, your desire to have the last word. But what you get in return is far more valuable. Freedom, emotional freedom, mental freedom, the ability to stand in the middle of a storm and not be moved, the ability to be surrounded by noise and still hear your own voice. This is how you become unstoppable. Not by trying to fix everything around you, but by mastering what's within you. You stop fighting battles that don't matter. You stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop wasting your breath on those who drain your energy. And with every boundary you silently hold, with every reaction you choose not to give, you grow, you sharpen, you rise. That power is already inside you. It's not about changing who you are. It's about unlearning the habits that keep pulling you away from your peace. You've been taught to react. You've been taught to prove, defend, explain. But none of that is required anymore. Not when you know who you are. Not when you've decided what actually deserves your attention. Because once you commit to protecting your energy, everything changes. People treat you differently. Circumstances that used to shake you lose their grip. You no longer respond from pain but from purpose. And yes, it takes strength. It takes repetition. But the reward is worth it. Imagine waking up and not being controlled by what happened yesterday. Imagine going through your day without being triggered by every distraction, every comment, every delay. Imagine being in complete control of your energy. That's not fantasy. That's a skill, a muscle, one you can train. And once it's trained, it becomes your default. Your identity, your superpower. You don't need to shout to be powerful. You don't need to argue to be respected. The most dangerous person in the room is the one who knows how to stay silent when everything's screaming for attention. That's who you're becoming. Someone who doesn't just survive the storm, someone who becomes the calm inside it. So keep going, keep choosing peace. Not because the world makes it easy, but because you've decided it's worth it. And every time you act as if nothing bothers you, you're proving to yourself that you're no longer a prisoner of reaction. You're the master of your emotions. You're not here to react to everything. You're here to lead yourself. Because when you lead yourself, you don't get pulled into every distraction, every insult, every little ripple of discomfort. You rise above it. You see it for what it is. Noise. And not all noise deserves your ears. Not every situation deserves your energy. You weren't made to fight battles that drain you. You were made to win the ones that build you. But to do that, you have to decide what actually matters. And most of the things you've been giving energy to don't. You've been trained to believe that reacting means caring. That if you don't respond, you're weak. That if you don't speak up, you're invisible. But the truth is, some reactions only feed chaos. Some responses keep you stuck. And some words once said cannot be taken back. Strength isn't proven in how loud you get. It's proven in how still you can remain when everything tries to provoke you. That stillness is your edge. That calm is your weapon. Because when you master it, nothing owns you. You start noticing the shift. The conversations you once chased now bore you. The arguments you used to rehearse in your head now feel like noise. The drama that used to trigger you now feels beneath you. Not because you're better than anyone, but because you've grown, you've elevated. You've stepped into a mindset where your energy is currency and you no longer spend it recklessly. You invest it where it counts, in your growth, in your goals, in your peace. That's how emotional power is built. Not through dominance, but through discipline. Through the decision to protect your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. The quality of your thoughts creates the quality of your life. And when your thoughts are calm, your actions become sharp. Your path becomes clear. The world may still be chaotic, but you move with purpose. You speak with precision. You live with peace. That's the difference between reacting and responding. One is emotional, the other is intentional. One drains you, the other builds you. You were never meant to be emotionally tossed around by every situation. That's not your destiny. That's not your identity. You are the calm in the storm, not the chaos in it. And the more you practice stillness, the stronger it becomes. It won't feel natural at first. Your impulses will want to react. Your ego will want to defend. But each time you resist, each time you choose peace over drama, you're rewiring your mind for strength. This is how you take your power back. Not by controlling the world, but by mastering yourself. Not by silencing others, but by silencing your need to respond to everything. You're not here to fight every battle. You're here to win the war within. And the moment you act as if nothing bothers you, that's the moment the war begins to end. You don't rise by reacting. You rise by remembering who you are in the face of pressure. Because when life tests you, it's not just testing your patience. It's testing your alignment. Who are you when things don't go your way? Who are you when someone pushes your buttons, tries to shake your confidence, or throws negativity in your path? That answer determines your strength. It's easy to stay calm when everything's comfortable, but real power shows up when discomfort arrives and you refuse to break. You don't shout, you don't flinch, you stand still. That stillness isn't passive, it's focused, it's deliberate, it's rooted in self-control. Most people don't get that far. They stay reactive, pulled by emotions, addicted to the temporary relief of speaking their mind without realizing the cost. But that cost adds up. Every reaction robs you of presence. Every emotional outburst delays your peace. Every time you act out of impulse instead of intention, you drift further from the life you're trying to build. And if you want to grow, you must stop letting every inconvenience become an emergency. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everything deserves your energy. And certainly not everything deserves your response. To reach the next level in life, you have to learn how to carry peace into chaos. You have to be able to walk into pressure and not absorb it. You must learn to observe without being consumed. That's where your transformation begins. When you start noticing your triggers, but they no longer own you. When you feel the heat rise inside you, but you breathe instead of break. That is growth. That is mastery. That is what sets you apart. It's not about pretending things don't affect you. It's about becoming so grounded, so intentional, that you no longer respond to everything that used to break you. You have to unlearn the idea that reaction equals strength. The real strength is in the pause, in the space between the trigger and the response. That space is your power. That's where you reclaim control. It takes discipline. It takes repetition. But if you can hold your peace when your ego screams for attention, you win every time. Because you're not just choosing silence, you're choosing growth. You're choosing maturity. You're choosing the version of yourself that doesn't need to be validated through conflict. That version leads with wisdom, not emotion. You won't always get it right. You'll slip. You'll feel the urge to react. But each time you catch yourself, each time you pause, each time you step back and let stillness guide you, you're building a new identity. One thought at a time, one choice at a time. That's how you take control of your life. That's how you rise. By acting as if nothing bothers you, not to pretend, but because you've grown past the need to be reactive. You've become rooted. And from that place, nothing can shake you. Control isn't loud, it's quiet, it's not dramatic, it's composed. And it's built in those moments where you feel the fire rise in your chest, but choose not to let it burn everything down. That's what emotional intelligence looks like in action. The ability to notice your feelings without becoming them. To feel the sting of criticism and still walk with dignity. To hear the lies, the rumors, the noise, and remain unshaken, because your truth speaks louder within you than anything spoken around you. That's what it means to act as if nothing bothers you. Not because you're numb, not because you don't care, but because you've trained your mind to hold the line. Most people haven't done that work. They walk around triggered, tense, ready to explode. They call it passion, but it's just chaos. They call it honesty, but it's just pain spilling out. You can't build a strong life on emotional instability. You need a solid foundation. And that starts with mastering your internal world before you try to fix anything external. Because nothing out there is truly the problem. The real war is in your mind. The thoughts you feed, the emotions you allow, the narratives you believe. Every moment you choose calm over chaos, you're rewriting that story. You're building a mindset that serves you instead of sabotaging you. Don't confuse peace with weakness. Don't mistake silence for surrender. It takes more strength to stay grounded than it does to lash out. Anyone can react. It takes a leader to remain still, a leader of their own life, a leader of their own thoughts. And when you hold that kind of energy, people feel it. They sense that you're not easily moved, that you don't need approval, that you've already decided who you are. That's where real confidence comes from. Not in how loud you can speak, but in how little you need to prove. There is power in choosing peace. Not the peace that avoids problems, but the peace that stands tall in the middle of them. The kind that says, I see what's happening, but I won't let it control me. That mindset protects your vision. It sharpens your focus. It keeps your energy directed toward progress, not distraction. Because everything trying to bother you is designed to steal your attention, and your attention is your life. Where it goes, your reality follows. If you want to live a life that's not ruled by reactions, you must become someone who can feel without being consumed, who can think without spiraling, who can respond with clarity, instead of emotion. That's the goal, that's the discipline. To walk into every room, every challenge, every storm with the same unshakable presence. Calm, collected, certain. You don't need to show the world that you're unbothered. You just need to be it. Because once that power lives in you, it doesn't need to be explained. It's felt, and it's unstoppable. It's not what happens around you that defines you. It's how you interpret it, how you process it, and what you decide to do with it. Every situation in life comes with two doors. One leads to reaction. The other leads to response. One drains your energy. The other protects it. One creates regret. The other builds character. You're not powerless. You're not a victim of your emotions. You're simply being invited to take control of your mental space, to stop letting everything around you dictate your inner world. Because if you don't learn to own your reactions will own your life. The moment you start acting as if nothing bothers you, you begin reclaiming the time and energy wasted on things that don't move you forward. You stop overthinking every word, every look, every opinion. You stop trying to convince people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop letting small things control big parts of your day, and what you gain in return is peace, focus, presence. A level of clarity most people never reach because they're too distracted by everything that doesn't matter. Strength isn't about how much you can lift. It's about how much you can let go. Let go of the urge to argue. Let go of the need to prove your worth. Let go of the emotional traps that beg for your attention but offer nothing in return. You were not put here to react to everything. You were built for more. You were built to rise, to lead, to grow into someone who chooses their response with intention, not impulse. And that starts when you stop feeding every little fire with your energy and start fueling your purpose instead. Your mind is your home, and if you let just anyone walk through it with dirty shoes, you'll never feel at peace. Guard it. Protect it. Choose what enters and what stays. Not everything deserves to live in your head. Not every comment deserves to echo in your thoughts. You don't have to accept every invitation to conflict. You can just observe. Let them speak. Let them act. Let them do whatever they need to do while you stay anchored, while you keep building, while you keep becoming. When you stop being emotionally available to nonsense, you become mentally available for greatness. That's the shift. From reaction to creation. From chaos to clarity. From noise to vision. Your power lies in your ability to stay calm when the world expects you to collapse. To breathe deeply when tension tries to rise. To smile inwardly because you know you're no longer at the mercy of what once controlled you. You've outgrown it. And the more you grow, the less you react. Because you realize your energy is too valuable to be thrown at anything that doesn't build you. That's not indifference, that's evolution. And that's how you rise above it all. By walking through the storm completely unmoved. If you want real power, learn to master the pause. That space between stimulus and response is where your future is written. It's where peace is chosen. It's where emotional maturity is built. Anyone can react on impulse. That's easy. That's instinct. But rising above instinct and operating from intention, that's the path of strength. That's where growth lives. In that quiet second where you decide not to send the angry message, not to take the bait, not to let someone else's chaos trigger your own. That single moment may seem small, but it's the most powerful decision you'll ever make. Because that pause becomes a habit. and that habit becomes who you are. You're not here to be pulled in 100 directions by emotions you don't even fully understand. You're here to take ownership, to recognize your emotional patterns and interrupt them. You're here to choose presence over panic, stability over sensitivity, action over reaction. When you become someone who lives in that pause, you gain access to a version of yourself that most people never meet. A version that's not controlled by ego, anger, or insecurity. A version that speaks less, listens more, and moves with purpose. People will try to test your peace. They'll throw shade just to see if it hits a nerve. They'll project their pain onto you because they don't know what to do with it. But your job is not to carry that weight. Your job is to remember who you are and what you stand for. That's the mindset of someone who's unshakable. Not because life is easy, but because they've decided nothing will be allowed to shake what's unbreakable inside them. Their peace is not situational. It's foundational. When you truly act as if nothing bothers you, it's not because you're cold or distant. It's because you've created a mental environment where nonsense can't survive. You've filtered your focus, you've refined your reactions, and now you're untouchable in the best way, because no one can trigger a version of you that no longer exists. That's the evolution. When your old emotional patterns try to resurface, and you smile, not because you're ignoring them, but because you've outgrown them. You see it, you feel it, but it doesn't move you. That's not pretending, that's power. Every time you stay calm, you take back control. Every time you don't react, you rise. Every time you choose maturity, you create momentum. This is the discipline of emotional excellence. And it's not just for a day, it's a lifestyle. It's how you build a life where your peace is no longer negotiable, where your energy is too expensive to spend on things that don't matter. And when you live like that, you don't just act unbothered, you are unbothered. Because you've trained your mind to recognize what deserves a response and what only deserves silence. And in that silence, you grow stronger. You rise higher. You move forward, unshaken. When you protect your energy, you start to notice how many things were draining you without your permission. It's not just people, it's patterns. It's that habit of overthinking what someone meant. It's the loop of replaying conversations in your head, wishing you'd said something different. It's the invisible weight of carrying what doesn't belong to you. You can be in a quiet room and still feel exhausted if your mind is busy reacting to every invisible threat. The moment you stop letting the noise dictate your focus, you gain your life back. You begin to experience mental freedom. And mental freedom is the foundation of real confidence. Confidence isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silent. It's the ability to walk away without explanation. It's the strength to not respond. It's the peace in knowing you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. Real confidence shows up when you've made peace with who you are, when you no longer need the world's validation to feel whole. That's what happens when you act as if nothing bothers you. Because the truth is, when your peace becomes your priority, your self-worth stops being for sale. No one gets to bid on your energy. No one gets to take pieces of you unless you hand them over. And the more you understand that, the more powerful you become. Emotional discipline is a skill. It's not natural for most people. It's built, moment by moment, choice by choice. You train it like a muscle. The first time you hold back your reaction, it's hard. The second time, it's easier. Then, slowly, you become someone who no longer reacts the way they used to. You're not suppressing, you're not bottling it up. You're just choosing to channel your energy into what serves you. You start asking better questions. Does this deserve my peace? Will this matter in a week? Is this moving me forward or pulling me back? And every time the answer tells you to stay still, you grow more unshakable. Being unbothered doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care deeply, but selectively. It means you've become the gatekeeper of your attention. You refuse to give the loudest voice to the lowest priority. You understand that not every battle is worth fighting, especially the ones that only cost you peace. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally intelligent. It's about creating space between you and the chaos, so you can think clearly, act wisely, and move deliberately. That's where your power lives, in the space between what happened and how you choose to meet it. When you stop overreacting to things that used to trigger you, you become magnetic. You radiate presence. You walk differently. You speak less but say more. People feel it because energy doesn't lie. You're not fighting for peace anymore. You are peace. And once you arrive at that place, everything changes because you're no longer moved by every ripple on the surface. You've become the calm beneath it. Steady. Still. Unbreakable. When you shift your focus away from everything that bothers you, you begin to see how much energy you've been wasting. The world is filled with distractions, with opinions, with noise that pulls you in different directions. The more you give into it, the more you lose sight of what truly matters. But when you learn to let go of these distractions, when you stop reacting to every little thing, you start to feel something remarkable, the feeling of control. Control over your own mind, your own emotions, your own energy. And that is where your true strength lies. It's not in how others behave, but in how you respond to them. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending things don't affect you. It's about knowing that you have the power to decide how much energy you give to something. When you make the choice to not let things bother you, you begin to reclaim control over your life. You take back the power that was once surrendered to circumstances, to other people, to situations that were never in your hands. You don't need to have the last word. You don't need to fight every battle. Sometimes the greatest act of strength is walking away, staying silent, and letting things be exactly as they are. The world will always throw challenges your way. There will always be things that try to knock you down, to provoke you, to test your limits. But when you adopt this mindset, when you learn to act as if nothing bothers you, you start to shift the narrative. You become someone who no longer reacts, but responds. Someone who no longer feels powerless, but empowered. It's about taking ownership of your emotions, your peace, and your mindset. It's about being the architect of your own inner world and not allowing external forces to define who you are or how you feel. People will notice when you begin to adopt this mindset. They'll feel your energy change. They'll see you standing stronger, more grounded, more confident. They'll watch as you stop being moved by things that used to trigger you. And as they watch you, they'll start questioning themselves. They'll start wondering how you can remain so calm in the face of adversity. And the truth is, you're not immune to the chaos of the world. You've just learned the most powerful lesson. You get to decide how much it affects you. You get to decide how much of your energy you give away. When you stop being bothered by the small things, you open yourself up to the bigger things. You stop giving your attention to things that drain you, and you start giving it to things that build you. You start focusing on the opportunities, on the moments that matter, on the things that truly align with your values and goals. You begin to move with purpose, to walk with intention. Your actions become more deliberate, more powerful, because they're no longer influenced by every little inconvenience or irritation that comes your way. You become unstoppable. You can change your entire life by changing how you respond to the world around you. The more you practice this mindset, the more you'll notice how much lighter you feel. You'll feel like you've shed a weight you didn't even know you were carrying. And as you continue to grow, you'll realize just how strong you've become, stronger than anything that used to bother you. Imagine what your life would look like if you stopped giving away your power to the things and people that don't deserve it. What would it feel like to walk through your day knowing that no matter what happens around you, you have a core strength that no one can touch? When you choose to stop being bothered by the small things, you elevate yourself. You stop letting the noise of the world drown out your inner voice, your inner peace. You stop responding to every opinion, every criticism, every trivial matter that used to shake you to your core. Instead, you rise above. You remain steady. You become the person who is unshaken by the storms others create around you. And when you make this shift, something extraordinary happens. You begin to see the world differently. This is not about denying your feelings. It's not about pretending to be unaffected by everything. It's about acknowledging your feelings without letting them dictate your actions. It's about understanding that your emotions are valid, but they don't have to control you. You have the power to decide when to engage and when to let go. You can choose to respond with grace, with calm, with strength, no matter what the world throws at you. This is the kind of power that can transform your life. Because when you stop giving your energy to the things that don't matter, you free yourself to focus on what does. The world is full of distractions. People will try to pull you in different directions. Situations will arise that challenge you. But when you learn to act as if nothing bothers you, you stop being a victim of your circumstances. You stop allowing the world to dictate your mood, your mindset, your energy. You take control of your own narrative, and in that control lies your freedom. Freedom from worry, from stress, from the pressure to conform. When you choose not to react, you reclaim your peace, and that peace becomes the foundation of everything else in your life. This shift in mindset doesn't just affect your mood, it affects your success, your relationships, your growth. When you stop letting the little things get to you, you become a magnet for positive energy. You begin to attract the things that are aligned with your higher purpose. Opportunities that once felt out of reach suddenly seem within your grasp. People who resonate with your energy start to show up in your life. Your confidence grows, your clarity sharpens, and your vision becomes clearer. The less you react to things that drain you, the more energy you have for the things that fuel your growth. You become unstoppable, not because you're immune to challenges, but because you choose to rise above them. This journey isn't always easy. There will be moments when it feels like the world is pushing against you, trying to provoke you into reacting. But it's in those moments that your true strength will shine. The more you practice choosing your response, the easier it becomes. And with every choice, you build a deeper sense of self-respect, of inner power, and of peace. Your ability to stay calm, to stay grounded will not only transform your life, it will inspire those around you to do the same. You become a beacon of calm in a chaotic world. And that, in itself, is a remarkable gift. The moment you stop giving your energy to things that don't serve you, you start to create space for what truly matters. It's as if a fog lifts from your mind and heart, allowing you to see the truth clearly. The truth is, most of the things that used to trigger you, that used to steal your peace, are simply distractions. They are not a reflection of who you are or where you are going. The noise, the opinions, the challenges, they all fade into the background when you take a stand for your own emotional well-being. And in that space of clarity, you begin to understand just how much power you've always had within you. Power that you've been giving away to things that don't deserve it. But now, you're taking it back. As you step into this new way of being, you'll begin to notice a shift in your relationships. The way you engage with others transforms. You no longer react to every criticism or slight. Instead, you approach people with a sense of calm and understanding because you've learned to master your own emotional state. Your responses are no longer dictated by how others behave. Instead, you choose your responses with purpose. And as you do this, you begin to attract people who match this newfound sense of inner peace. Relationships become healthier, more balanced, because you are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. You are anchored in yourself, in your own truth, and in your own strength. This shift isn't about controlling others, it's about controlling yourself. It's about choosing to let go of the things that weigh you down, the things that drag you into negativity. The more you practice this, the more you realize that the world is not as powerful as you once thought. The opinions of others, the circumstances you thought you had no control over, they lose their grip on you. You learn that nothing outside of you has the power to make you feel less than you are. Your value, your worth, is not tied to anyone else's approval. It's rooted in who you are, in your ability to rise above whatever life throws your way. And as you rise, something incredible begins to happen. You start to experience freedom like never before. Freedom from self-doubt, from the need for validation, from the constant emotional roller coaster of reacting to every situation. You feel lighter, more grounded, more at peace. You find joy in the little moments, in the things that truly matter, because you are no longer weighed down by things that don't. Your mind becomes clear, your heart becomes open, and your soul becomes free. And in that freedom, you find your true power. The power to create, to build, to dream, and to become the person you've always been capable of being. This is the kind of transformation that changes everything. It's not a change that happens overnight, but with every step you take toward this mindset, you unlock more of your potential. And as you continue on this journey, you'll see that the challenges you face, the setbacks you encounter, no longer have the same hold on you. You become unstoppable. Not because you don't face challenges, but because you've learned to rise above them. You've learned that you are in control of your own reactions, your own peace, and your own power. This is the gift you give to yourself. And it's the gift that keeps on giving day after day, moment after moment. You are more than the circumstances that have shaped you, more than the challenges you've faced. You are not defined by the moments that have tried to break you, but by your ability to rise above them. Every hardship you've endured has been a test, not of your worth, but of your resolve. And each time you've made it through, whether you realize it or not, you've strengthened your inner foundation. The struggles, the pain, the obstacles, they've all been preparing you for something greater. You've been building resilience even when you couldn't see it. That inner strength, that fire inside you, it's always been there. But now, more than ever, it's time to tap into it. It's time to stop questioning whether you're capable, whether you deserve success or happiness. The truth is, you've always had what it takes. The only thing standing in your way is the belief that you don't. You've been told that you're not enough, that you don't measure up, that you should settle for less than what you desire. But those voices, those limiting beliefs, they are lies. They are the noise that tries to keep you small, to keep you stuck. But you have the power to drown them out. You have the strength to push past them, to claim the life that is waiting for you. What if you stopped waiting for permission? What if you stopped asking for validation? What if you simply started believing that you are worthy of everything you've ever dreamed of? The world is not going to hand you your success on a silver platter. It's not going to hand you your peace, your happiness, or your fulfillment. You have to take them. You have to claim them for yourself. And that means taking bold action, even when you're scared, even when you're uncertain. You're not waiting for a perfect moment. You're creating it. And that right there is where the magic happens. As you step into this new version of yourself, you'll notice something incredible. You'll begin to attract the people, the opportunities, and the circumstances that align with your newfound energy. When you stop doubting yourself, when you stop holding yourself back, you start to shift the energy around you. You no longer settle for less because you know your worth. You no longer accept mediocrity because you know you're capable of greatness. And the universe starts to respond. Things begin to shift in ways you could never have imagined. You don't need anyone's permission to live your best life. You don't need anyone's approval to go after what you want. The only approval you need is your own. The only permission you need is from the person you see when you look in the mirror. The power to change your life, to create the future you've always wanted, is in your hands. But first, you must believe that you are deserving of it. You must stop waiting for a sign from the outside world because the only sign you need is the one that's already inside you. It's time to step into your greatness, to rise above the doubts, the fears, and the limitations. It's time to claim the life you've always known you were meant to live. You are not here by accident. Every moment, every step, every choice has led you to this exact point in time. Every setback you've faced has been a lesson. Every failure a stepping stone. The road you've walked, with all its twists and turns, was never meant to break you. It was meant to build you, to shape you into the person you are meant to become. The person who will no longer settle for less than greatness. The person who will no longer let fear, doubt, or uncertainty hold them back. There is power in knowing who you are, and there is an even greater power in knowing who you are becoming. What you've endured, what you've overcome, has given you the strength to rise higher than ever before. But none of it matters if you stay in the past, if you allow yourself to be anchored by memories of what's been lost or missed. The past is not your future. It doesn't define you, and it certainly doesn't limit you. You are more than your history. You're more than the things you didn't do, the chances you didn't take, the mistakes you made. You are more than the versions of yourself you've outgrown. The truth is, your potential has always been limitless, but it has been waiting for you to recognize it. And now, right in this moment, you have the choice to take the reins of your own destiny, to stop allowing the outside world to dictate your path, to stop letting anyone else's opinion of you become your truth. The opinions of others do not matter. What matters is how you see yourself, how you choose to show up for yourself, how you choose to speak to yourself when no one else is around. Your inner dialogue holds the key to your transformation. What you believe about yourself shapes your reality. If you tell yourself that you can't, that you're not good enough, or that it's too late for you, then that's exactly what you'll create. But if you shift your mindset, if you start believing in the power that lies within you, you will begin to unlock doors that you never thought were possible. The mind is a powerful tool, and the thoughts you feed it will either hold you back or propel you forward. Start feeding your mind with positive affirmations, with the belief that you are capable of anything you set your mind to. Start believing that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, that every setback is a chance to learn, and that every moment is a chance to take action. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. It's about showing up even when it's hard. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Success is not for the faint of heart. It's for the bold, the determined, and the relentless. It's for those who refuse to give up no matter the obstacles. You are capable of extraordinary things. You are capable of transforming your life in ways that you can't even yet imagine. The only thing standing in your way is the belief that you can't. Once you shift that belief, once you embrace the power within you, there is nothing that will stop you. Your journey to greatness starts now. Take the first step. You are the master of your own fate. Every choice you make shapes the reality you live in. Every thought you allow to occupy your mind creates the life you experience. The world outside may be unpredictable, chaotic, or uncertain, but the one thing you can always control is how you respond, how you rise to the occasion, and how you decide to move forward. No matter the circumstances, you are never powerless. You have the ability to make your life anything you want it to be. The true strength lies within your ability to keep going when everything seems stacked against you. When the world tells you it's too hard, when the obstacles seem insurmountable, that's when you must dig deeper. That's when you find your real power. There is greatness inside of you just waiting to emerge, but you must give it the space to thrive. You cannot hold yourself back any longer. You cannot keep letting fear, doubt, or uncertainty steer your life. The moment you decide to break free of those chains is the moment everything changes. The power of belief cannot be underestimated. What you believe about yourself will ultimately become your truth. If you see yourself as a victim of circumstances, you will always feel helpless. If you see yourself as someone with limitless potential, you will rise, time and time again, to prove that potential right. The moment you begin to believe in your own strength, the moment you choose to see challenges as opportunities, your life transforms. This shift is not something that happens overnight, but it is something that happens every single day, with every decision you make. Imagine the person you want to become. See them clearly in your mind. How do they carry themselves? What do they believe? What do they do differently than you today? Now, ask yourself why you are not that person yet. What is holding you back? It's time to confront those limits, to face them head on, and to break them down one by one. You are stronger than you think. You are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. Every day, you are presented with choices. You can choose to stay where you are, to remain comfortable and safe, or you can choose to grow. You can choose to take action, to step into the unknown, to push yourself past your limits. Growth is not easy. It's not meant to be. But it's the only path that leads to transformation. It's the only path that leads to the version of yourself you know you are capable of becoming. And it starts now. Your past does not define you. It has no claim over your future. Whatever mistakes you've made, whatever missteps you've taken, they are not who you are. They are simply lessons learned. They are simply moments in time that have passed. What matters is what you do now. What matters is how you move forward from here. And right now, you have the power to choose. Choose to rise. Choose to believe in your strength. Choose to take action even when it feels impossible. The life you want is waiting for you. Step into it. You are already equipped with everything you need to succeed. The strength, the resilience, the power, it's all within you. There is nothing standing in your way except your own doubts. The longer you hold on to the idea that you are not enough, the longer you delay your own greatness. It's time to stop questioning your abilities and start trusting in them. The future is not waiting for you to be ready. It is waiting for you to act. It is waiting for you to claim what is already yours. Fear is a liar. It tells you that you are not capable, that you are not worthy, that you should stay small. But the truth is that fear only grows stronger the longer you listen to it. When you choose to face your fear, when you step through it and keep moving forward, it loses its grip on you. You were never meant to be held back by fear. You were meant to rise above it. You were born to conquer, to create, and to live boldly. The moment you choose to embrace that power, everything changes. Look around you. Every successful person you admire, every individual who has risen to the top, has faced the same fears, the same struggles, the same doubts. The difference is not in their circumstances, but in their decisions. They decided to keep going when others would have given up. They chose to fight for what they wanted, even when the odds were against them. They understood that success is not about waiting for the perfect moment, but about making the most of the moment you have right now. Your potential is limitless, but it will remain dormant unless you take the first step. The world will not give you permission to pursue your dreams. No one is going to hand you success. It is earned through relentless effort, through a refusal to settle, and through a belief that you are deserving of everything you want. It is earned by showing up every single day, even when it feels hard, even when the path is unclear. The work you put in now will lay the foundation for the life you desire. No one else can walk your path. You have the ability to create your own success, your own future, and your own legacy. This is your life, and you are the author of your story. The world needs your light, your vision, your gifts. Don't let fear or doubt dim them. Don't let anyone or anything convince you that you are not enough. You are more than enough. You have everything you need within you to make your dreams a reality. The time to act is now. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect circumstances because they will never come. If you want to change your life, you must change your actions. You must take consistent, committed action, even if it's small, even if it's imperfect. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Keep going, keep moving. Your success is inevitable if you refuse to quit.